Welcome, I'm Dumbledee, and now a word from one of our sponsors. Have you, as a guy, ever wanted to brush your eyebrows? Well, the Brush is just for you, brought to you by Forever 22. It's the next gen eyebrow brush that's an essential part of every Gen Z's fashion kit. Keep your fading and lackluster eyebrows from becoming just another part of your unkept look, instead of becoming a vocal point for fashion both men and women alike. Available where all Forever 22s are present, as well as online at brush.com. And welcome to a Dummy's Guide to a Radical World podcast as 103.5 KDR or anywhere podcasts are available. You may remember our renowned podcast from roughly a year ago where Dumbledum and myself reviewed the decolonization of Ghana. Or you may remember our podcast on the Watergate scandal, which only occurred a few months ago with our special guest, Helen Thomas. So welcome to yet another podcast where I will be in a unicorn costume today in celebration of Halloween that just recently passed. See, unicorn. Today, however, Dumbledum will not be with us as he is once again in custody for not stealing races, actually. This time he was arrested for dancing. Our special guest from last time is currently busy in a court case suing some crazed man who was dancing on her car. Strange world. So, with the lack of partners, welcome to the 4 a.m. crypto podcast on cryptocurrency, the hot craze in the market nowadays. With inflation rising, we decided it would be fun to dive into a form of currency that has long been debated over. But alas, don't worry, Dumb Nation. Today's podcast will be jam-packed with small facts and ads. Have you ever wanted an easy computer on the go? Well, I think that the Stalker 3000 will be just for you. It's an easy transportable watch that allows you to do all the things you could do on a computer. Writing an email to your boss to ask for an early pay to buy the Stalker 3000? No problem. Need to search up embarrassing things without anyone noticing? We have you covered. Just call 580-295-5532. That's 580-295-5532 and get your Stalker 3000 today for a limited price of $19.99, and we'll include an exclusive Dummies Guide shirt just for you. Creepy things may include location tracking, collection of personal data, tracking your biostats, and publicity of search history. Buy the Stalker 3000 today. Now, many of you may be asking, what is cryptocurrency? According to NerdWallet, cryptocurrency, or crypto, is a digital currency that can be used to buy goods and services. Be used as an online ledger with strong cryptography to secure online transactions. Before we dive into how it all works, you need to know its history, despite how brief it might be, because cryptocurrency is still a relatively new topic in the modern world. But before that, listen to this ad. You want to go on a cruise? Well, you should join Mrs. Wall's cruise, as the more people that joins her cruise is, the equivalent of more essays she has to grade. And who doesn't want that? So, join Mrs. Wall's cruise today. The sponsor was paid for Gilbert Classical Academy. The foundations of cryptocurrency dates back to the early 1980s when an American cryptographer named David Chaum invented a blinding algorithm that remains central to modern web-based encryptions. The algorithm allowed for a secure, unalterable information exchange between parties, laying the groundwork for future electronic currency transfers. About 15 years later, an accomplished software engineer named Wade Dye published a white paper on B-Money, a virtual currency architecture that included many of the basic components that modern cryptocurrencies has, but it was unfortunately never implemented as a currency. As time progressed, such as in the late 1990s and early 2000s, more conventional finance intermediaries appeared, such as PayPal. These all led up to the first true cryptocurrency, Bitcoin. Bitcoin was made in the late 2000s and has been on the rise ever since its release. Since its release, many other cryptocurrencies have tried to follow in its footsteps, such as Litecoin. In today's world, Bitcoin is becoming more applicable to use as more and more people are accepting it as a form of currency. Oh, and have you checked the news? It turns out Dum Dum and Helen are going to face off in court right now. What a small world. Who would have known that those two would have been fighting each other? Well, unfortunately, I can't go right now as I have to scam people from tell this wonderful information to my dedicated followers. Now, of course, cryptocurrency has been the topic of debate for several years, as there have been quite a few pros and cons to this form of payment. Let's start with the pros. Some supporters like the fact that cryptocurrency removes central banking from managing the money supply, since over time these banks tend to reduce the value of money via inflation. Other supporters like the technology behind cryptocurrency other supporters like the technology behind cryptocurrencies, the blockchain, because it's a decentralized processing and recording system. It can be a more secure system than the traditional payment systems that we have today. Some speculators like cryptocurrency not because they're actually good for the long term for an actual currency, but because they're going up in value. That's it. Now, of course, cryptocurrencies have several flaws, one of their biggest flaws being their stability. Take Bitcoin, for example. The prices have been fluctuating dramatically throughout the years with no real stable price. Many see cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin as the currency of the future, but many investors have stated that a currency needs to have stability so that merchants and consumers can determine what a fair price is for goods. This price fluctuation creates a conundrum. If Bitcoins might be worth a lot more in the future, people are less likely to spend and circulate them today, making them a lot less valuable as a currency. Why spend a Bitcoin when it could be worth 3 times the value next year? You know what else is valuable? Something I should probably use for my 4 a.m. bed hair. The bedhead deadhead. Have you been experiencing hair loss recently? Are your luscious and bountiful locks of hair becoming thin and dry? Well, we have the product for you, the Bed Dead Bedhead, a new shampoo that's made just for you. Its use of natural ingredients like rubber, polyvinyl acetate, tar, and tree sap will make your withering hair grow anew. Just text keyword JOB to 334-662-4848 for an exclusive discount today. Limited time only. Side effects may include nausea, sticky hair, and lack of sleep. Now, many of you are wondering how the government plays into this and whether or not cryptocurrency is legal. Yes, it is very much legal, but Investopedia has a warning for those who want to dive into the cryptocurrency world. It states, although cryptocurrency itself is a form of money, the Internal Review Service, or the IRS, considers it a financial asset or property. As with most other investments, if you reap capital gains in selling or trading it, the government wants a piece of the profits. On May 20th, 2021, the U.S. Department of the Treasury announced a proposal that will require taxpayers to report any cryptocurrency transaction of $10,000 to the IRS. How exactly proceeds? How exactly would this be taxed as capital gains or ordinary income? Depends on how long the taxpayer holds the cryptocurrency. That's pretty wild, isn't it, Dummy Nation? Now, many of you might want more advice from magical unicorns such as myself, and I would be glad to help you with your dilemmas. After a word from one of our sponsors. Have you ever wanted an unbreakable phone that is as old as time itself? Get the Nokia 3310 phone today. It's virtually indestructible. It's essentially a brick that can call. Sure, it may not have that sleek, slender look like Samsung or iPhone, but it has nowhere near the same capabilities as your average phone. But it can't break. So get your calling brick today. Only negative $5.99. That's right, we pay you. We are just that desperate. So get your Nokia 3310 phone today. Legal where products are available. Illegal in 50 states. Now, here's my personal opinion. I personally think that it is currently too unstable to actually be a reliable currency. If anything, it feels more like a stock than a real currency, with how the numbers are always fluctuating. The cryptocurrency has no real value, as the value is justified through supply and demand. If they could stabilize it, it would be a future currency for sure, but as it stands right now, I don't personally think it's worth it. Hello, fellow dummies, and thank you for tuning in at A Dummy's Guide to a Radical World podcast on 103.5 KDR or anywhere podcasts are available where your views equal profit for us. Now, address your concerns about Dumbledum and Helen. The court case has to be rescheduled as a leprechaun entered the building, blasting everyone with gold coins. Or was it alcohol? Tuning out since we ran out of sponsors. Until we receive more sponsors, adios!